think we're going to get a lot done. So it's more smelling the gym and being aware of, Cincinnati does, and then, Carlos kind of gave me an idea of what we need to do physically. So tomorrow will be a little bit more intense. And then, with such an early morning game, you're not going to have a typical routine where you go to shoot around the day, the day of the game. So you might smell the gym when we get to Cincinnati for a little while. But I'm hopeful our seniors understand the significance, of the game, and they can make the young kids aware of it.
How are you guys holding up physically? I know Shake was hurt.
Well, I think, I don't think Nick will be healthy till the season's over and he gets time to rest. But he was better last night physically. I only saw him get banged once, last night. But he looks reasonably fit today. And then, Shake didn't say anything about it. And they all came in for treatment, but he looked fine. You got the same players you had from the start of the season. They've all played too many minutes. They've all played hurt. They've all made unbelievable sacrifices, and you just hopeful we can get through the season one more time.
With a game like Cincinnati being their senior day and coming so quickly on the heels of your senior day, is that almost a benefit since your guys can see?
I'm having trouble coaching my team. I have never, ever been able to, some people are saying all the pressure's on those guys because they have to win. It's important to them. No, it's important to us. Pressure's really what you put on yourself. I understand what senior day is and the emotions, because we're talking about Cincinnati, a really, really program with tradition, and I'm sure it's always been something that has been really good and really, sad, because those kids have so much invested. So I really don't know, how they're going to react. I would imagine, based on what their senior class has done, it'll be a lot like what, the way our kids were treated.
You mentioned playing time. How much does that help moving forward with Shea, especially with your young guys who, they wouldn't have played this much?
Oh, no. Well, one, we're blessed because they're such high character kids. And two, I think they both came from really, really good programs. So they were a little ahead of the curve, even though we only went to one session of summer school, which that's another story. But obviously the fact that they played so many minutes in such a real environment, playing good teams, playing for something that's meaningful, it's got to help. But it's just kind of sad, because I think a lot of times a lot of our guys have been playing where they really they were playing more minutes than they really needed to play, and it kind of affected us, I think, in some key situations, not because they didn't want to do the right thing, simply because maybe they were banged up or tired or whatever. But for those two, and I think Sterling and Ben, Ben's always played a lot, but I don't think he's played quite as much or played such a key role. He could, when you had Cannon and you had Yannick and you had Marcus, you could just fit Ben in. Well, we couldn't do anything without Ben, and the year he had, so I think it'll benefit him and Sterling next year. And then, watching Nick grow and lead, I think it'll help those two guys as well, because I can already see them starting to empower themselves a little bit.
You've had guys do those international tours over the summer. Considering the miles they've put in this year on an undermanned roster, would you discourage such tours this summer?
No.
Try to save their legs?
No, they'd be playing in the summertime. They're better off going on a tour than working out with me. To be honest, when you consider what we're losing and how many kids we have coming in, I don't think there's a better time for a summer tour for this program, especially if you can get some credit academically for it going overseas. But you get, I think, 10 full practices, and then you can play some meaningful games. I wouldn't just do it just to do it, but we got the two freshmen, you got Shimmy and Ben Amalagu that really could use it. And then you got a whole bunch of young kids coming in. We've done it, with groups of two, which I think is, but Ben Amalagu and Shimmy went, and neither one of those kids got to play.
Do you? Go ahead. Sorry.
So, but I'd rather have it as a team.
This is probably a stupid question. Do you get any portion of scholarship back from people who leave?
We don't know yet what's going on with, there's some appeals, but...
No, I mean, I'm not talking about NCAA stuff. I'm talking about, like, guys leave the program, they're on their scholarship, they leave, you get those.
No, but see, so much is up in the air because we as an institution, penalized ourselves. We self-imposed.
Okay.
And then the NCAA, since we're the first team, they impose some restrictions in recruiting and scholarships. And we didn't appeal everything, but there are some things we've appealed. And that's one of them. And you look what happened at Syracuse, they gave them some things back. But we're SMU, so I don't know, but we're hopeful. But when Keith left, obviously, and Cedric left, those are two less kids that you can replace under normal circumstances.
That's what I mean.
You
Under
can
normal
always get to 13.
circumstances, you could.
Yeah, but we have a certain period of time when we have to have done what the NCAA mandated us to do, and we're assuming that's what's going to happen and trying to be aware of that. So you could actually have 13 guys next year, and then the following year maybe say, oh, no, we'll only have 10 on our roster.
Oh, I see.
We won't bring anybody in. It's just trying to be creative and figure it out.